everybody, it's me Z, and this is Kyle is Famous. I've seen a couple YouTubers who are playing this game, but I've never actually watched any playthroughs of it, so it's completely new to me, and I'm very excited, and I just want to jump in and play. I don't even have my good microphone or my good setup, but I'm freaking excited and I'm ready. So let's start. Kyle wakes up. He is famous. Good for him. Kyle is the host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle. That's kind of funny, because I almost said it's midnight 30. It's 12:30 where I am. Clearly I should not be awake still. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown... This is a reading test, let's see if I can read. Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent dumpy white man. Sure. Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields. Well, that's cool. Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details. Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast. The eye of the world is upon Kyle. I wouldn't want to be Kyle. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet. I definitely wouldn't want to be Kyle. Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She's the kind and lovely philanthropist. Good gracious. She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation. Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview. Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely. Good lord. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. See, immediately I just want to go with all of the bad answers I can possibly go with, because wither away sounds like exactly what I would do in this situation. But obviously exit the bed is the right answer, but I'm gonna go with wither away. Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died. Shucks. Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities. How does being dead not mean that you get to do whatever you want? I would just stay in bed at that point. Get out of bed anyway, apparently. Now I have a little ghost face. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. Open the closet. Sit at the desk. Scavenge. Exit bedroom into hallway. Scavenge is really drawing me. It makes him sound like he's a crow. So I'm gonna go with scavenge. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for bugs gossip. What is that mean? Just bugs and gossip. I'm gonna go with bugs because I'm going with the idea that he is scavenging like a crow. Kyle starts to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two. Soon he has a handful of various insects, dead and alive. Eat immediately, save for later use. I like the idea of him, Ghost Kyle just shoveling bugs in his mouth, but I feel like I like the idea of Ghost Kyle having a pocket full of dead and alive insects better, so I'm gonna save them for later. Kyle stashes the wriggling mass for later use. Back to bedroom. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. Open the closet. Sit at the desk. Exit. I'm gonna open the closet. Do I have what is that? I think that is a handful of bugs that I have. This is my little icon now. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark, and he could really only see his hanging shirts. Choose an outfit. Back to the bedroom. While I'm inclined to just have him walk out of the room in his pajamas, I'm gonna have him walk out of the room in his pajamas. We're gonna sit at the desk. Kyle made his way over to his desk and sat down. Write notes for the interview, check in drawers. Check in desk drawers. We're gonna do that. Kyle opened up the side drawer on his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. Small key, assorted change. I feel like the change is useful, but the key is intriguing to me. Kyle grabbed the small key and he kept in his desk. Kyle made his way over to his desk and sat down. I just realized that every time I make a movement, this little like timer down here tells me how many hours I have left. I should probably write notes for the interview. I kind of want to see what happens if I don't write notes for the interview, though. We're going to go to the hallway. Kyle walked into the hall, the small hallway that connects the rooms of his apartment together. Check locked door. I might have the key for that. Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but quickly found that the door was locked from the inside. Forced the door with forehead, float through his ghost. Kyle used his ghostly powers to walk straight through the door. Go inside. Kyle found himself in a room he stashed the various items sent to him by his fans. If it's locked from the inside, how does he put stuff in it? Maybe there's something on the other side. Why does he have a sewing machine? Yes, check the sewing machine. Kyle walked over to the dilapidated sewing machine. Its box was only half removed. Sure, let's sew some bug puppets. That sounded like a printer, not like a sewing machine. Kyle started sewing dead bugs together to make small actuated finger puppets. I don't know why I struggled so much with the word actuated. I'm an English major. I should not struggle with the word actuated. What does that mean? I'm looking that up. What does actuated mean? Sorry, I get off on like tangents sometimes. I want to know what that means. Well, that doesn't make sense. Cause a machine or device to operate or cause someone to act in a particular way or motivate. So either the finger puppets are causing the machine to operate or they're causing someone to move in a particular way. I feel like maybe actuated wasn't the word that they meant to use there. I think that's why that tripped me up a little bit. Anyway, that's not important. I got off on a tangent there. I've got 9 hours until the interview, and I have done next to nothing, and my phone is going to fall if I sit it there. It's fine. Kyle crafted a bug puppet for each finger. He named them after guests he had interviewed on his show. That's creepy. Kyle found himself in the room he stashed the various items sent to him by his fans. Back to the hallway. Kyle walked into the hallway that connects the rooms of his apartment. I'm going to go with the ghost option, float through side door. Oh wait, no, back. Darn it, I wasted time. I didn't realize that was the same door. We're leaving the apartment. Kyle walked into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. Visit downstairs neighbors, visit the tech store. I'm not one to visit neighbors. I think we're going to go with tech store. Kyle walked into the clean, white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot with flashing lights. Okay, when I didn't read the whole thing, I really thought that Techno Jim was just like a guy, like who just happened to know a lot about computers. I'm gonna steal him because that is a cool name. Quickly, before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders. You're coming with me, bucko. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started to pull upwards forcefully. ... Kyle hurried to the set. Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived. Oh? So he can just turn into a ghost at will, then. Sitting across from his host chair was a glorious woman with an air of genuinity? Is that how you say it? Like, I know what the word is, but I don't know how to say it because I've legitimately never had to read it out loud. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Approach Rachel. Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day. Yes! I was hoping they wouldn't, have him get dressed automatically for me. I wanted to, live out that, dream that you have sometimes where you're, naked in a place that you should not be naked. That was, what I was going for. Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly. I'm just imagining, like, all the crew members are like, what the hell is going on? What is he doing? As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuse and exited the set. Listen, Rachel, I would not even make excuses. I'd be like, I'm getting the hell out of here, and nothing is stopping me. This man is not wearing pants. One by one, the crew followed suit. Kyle was left all alone. End. Kyle prepared by being a nudist. I love that. I want to know what happens if I go through that and I put on clothes, but I have the bug finger puppets. So we're gonna... Kyle wakes up. He is famous. We're gonna skip it. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. We're gonna wither away. Kyle decided any of the decisions I've already made, I'm not gonna read. And then we're gonna go to the closet. We're gonna put on clothes. Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. Jean and swimming goggles, skunk pasties, slick suit of armor. We're gonna go with a slick suit because I want to see what happens if everything goes right except he has the bug finger puppets. Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. Me. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks. What are the knickknacks? I want to know. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. Exit to bedroom to hallway. Check locked door. Float through as ghost. Go inside. Check sewing machine. Sew the bug puppets. Kyle crafted a bug puppet's reach finger. Back to the hallway. Kitchen. We're gonna check the pantry. Kyle walked to access the pantry but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Oh, the key! I didn't pick up the key. Open fridge. Kyle opened the fridge intending to find something to eat. Eat crust off fridge wall. Ugh. Eat fridge. Prepare breakfast. Eat condiments. Eat the fridge. Kyle pointed his neck directly upward and hoisted the fridge on top of his face. Somehow, miraculously, he wrapped his mouth around the device. He started to swallow. Keep in mind this man is a ghost. This is a ghost eating a refrigerator. Like, I don't know. Ugh. I didn't like that noise. It reminded me of, there was a video that I watched. I'll link it in the description, but it was like a guy using like stop motion animation to like make things that are not food into food, and like that like eating sound reminded me of like the fake eating sounds that he used. It's very cool. And one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat. Like, okay, this would be like, he like unhinged, he didn't even unhinge his jaw because like your mouth is not physically big enough. Why am I trying to figure out how he did this? After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out. This reminds me of like Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, forgive my FNAF reference, but like that's like the like, I don't know, like the breaking down of the fridge, it reminds me of Springtrap. We're gonna go back to the hallway. Ah yes, the interview. Kyle hurried to the set. As per usual, he ceased to be a ghost as he arrived. Sat with the glamorous woman, Rachel. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responds, screaming and spin in circles. We're going to answer politely. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You are a most welcome guest. Shake hands. After mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Produce bug puppets. Kyle slipped his bug puppets onto his fingers. Hello, everybody, he said, wiggling the puppet he had named after himself. I'm Kyle. And I'm Rachel, Kyle screamed, wiggling a different finger. You're so much better than me. I know, Rachel, Kyle wiggled. He looked meaningfully at the human Rachel. Oh no. Said another one of Kyle's puppets. I'm super fat, and Kyle interviewed me last week. I'm super irritating, said another finger, and not very attractive. Kyle stared at Rachel, Rachel stared at Kyle, incredibly disoriented. Kyle? She asked. What are those puppets made out of? Kyle thrust both hands at Rachel's face. Puppets pointed at her eyes. We aren't puppets, Rachel, he said, scrunching his fingers up and down. We're real people. Rachel plucked the puppet that Kyle had said was her off his finger. Kyle, she exclaimed, this is several dead bugs patched together. Accept us, Rachel, said Kyle, scrunching. We need acceptance. Rachel exited her chair and walked out of frame. In a moment, she returned with a bag. She plucked each of the puppets off of Kyle's hand and tossed them in the bag. She's being incredibly chill for someone who was just presented with dead bug puppets. Kyle, leave the bugs alone next time, she said. Rachel left the frame again, bringing the bag of puppets along with her. Kyle, suddenly by himself, was unsure what to do. After a few minutes of hemming and hawing, Kyle resorted to telling jokes for the remainder of the broadcast. Fans did not notice the difference between this and the previous episodes. I knew it. I knew that was gonna be like a normal thing for him. That people weren't gonna have as much of a reaction as I would think they would have. So this time we're gonna see if we can get through the whole thing and make all good decisions, because I have a feeling if you make all the quote-unquote good decisions, it's gonna end you up with a really weird ending, because that kind of seems like where the game is going. So we're gonna exit the bed. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around the room. We're gonna go to the closet. We're gonna choose an outfit. We're gonna choose the suit. We're gonna sit at the desk. We're gonna write notes. Kyle wrote down his first question. Are you a mother? Am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? Are you a mother? Kyle wrote down his second question. What are some diet tips? Beef, mashed or blended, ever eaten a raw egg whole? See, okay, so I don't want to pick what are some diet tips, because I feel like that is the thing that interviewers always ask female celebrities, and it bothers me so much. They always ask what did you do to get in shape? Not I don't know, what have you been doing this weekend? They're just it seems like everyone always just cares about, people's appearance, but it is a typical question to ask, so we'll go with that one. Kyle wrote down his third question. I'm sorry, I saw. Do you ever smile? What's your funniest story? Do you ever smile? I purposefully ran over a puppy. We're gonna go with what's your funniest story. Kyle wrote down his last question. What's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty? As much as I want to ask, are you guilty? Because I feel like that will get an interesting response, I have to go with the normal one. Kyle ripped his page of notes out of his notebook and got it from the desk. Kyle made his way over to his desk and sat down. We're going to go back to the room. We're going to exit into the hallway. Oh wait, hold on. I just realized. Desk, check in desk drawer, small key. Because I want to be able to go to the pantry and see if there's anything. Move to kitchen, check pantry, knock with small key. The pantry door creaked as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened. Look in pantry. Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard. Ignore the pantry for now. Check a bottle of lard. Grab a bottle of lard. We're gonna ignore that. Open fridge. Prepare breakfast. Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast along with a small cup of fruit and grilled sausage. We're gonna eat some food. Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite. He felt refreshed. That was still not a good eating noise. Didn't like that. Sounded like he was eating some rocks. We're gonna return to the hallway. It's interview time. Kyle hurried to the set. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking at him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded. We're going to answer politely. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hands in greeting. You are a most welcome guest. After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Start broadcast. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Introduce Rachel. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel. He smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in, said Kyle. I'm ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle perused the notes he had taken early. Are you a mother? Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes. Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered, that's not something that's ever crossed my mind. Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. Very reasonable indeed, Kyle said. He referenced his paper of questions. What's your funniest story? You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle, but what's your funniest story? Well, it's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel. I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt into the pot. When my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and locked myself in my room. Rachel laughed elegantly. That is somewhat similar to the time I tried to make cornbread and I put baking soda in it instead of baking powder, and it came out tasting like soap. It was not a good experience. Kyle decided to move on. Kyle asked another question. What are some diet tips? Rachel, you managed to keep such a thin and healthy figure, said Kyle. What's your best diet tip? Well, a good diet starts with a plan, answered Rachel, and don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit. That's actually good advice. But, she continued, that doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed. She smiled. She literally contradicted herself. Kyle looked at his flabby self, decided not to comment, and moved on. Same. Kyle asked another question. What's your guilty pleasure? We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure? Oh, well, that's easy to answer, said Rachel. Dipping pickles in chocolate sauce. Okay, so my sister's name is Rachel. My older sister's name is Rachel. And, sometimes at night, I come out to, see what she's doing, because she's, up at all hours of night, and she's eating dill pickles and, canned chicken. If you've ever had, canned chicken, it's like canned tuna, but it's chicken. And I'll just be like, Rachel, what are you eating? And she's like, food. And I'm like, yeah, but, what the hell is that? And she's like, it's pickles and chicken? Why? So, this is a very Rachel answer to give. It might sound strange, but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often. Rachel smiled sweetly. After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel, smiling one more time. Do you prepare your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together. Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home, knowing the interview had gone well. But as he lay in bed, he drifted off to sleep. He felt that perhaps something was missing still. See, I think it's because I went to the pantry. Kyle prepared very well. Oh, I didn't look at what the last one was. I'm gonna look at the endings. Oh, it doesn't say, what Kyle prepared. Okay. Kyle wakes up. He is famous. We skip. So we're gonna exit the bed. I'm, again, gonna try to get, like, the best ending I can, because I think I missed some stuff with the pantry. So I'm gonna just kind of, like, go through the answers until I get one that is different. Wait. What? Okay, so I went to look for resources, and he, like, found some crumbs and stuff, and then it came up with this. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing years ago while at Kyle's house. Kyle was glad to see him again, but unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business. We're gonna leave him alone for another time. Kyle decided Harry could wait until another day and quietly folded a pile of filth back on top of him. Honestly, that sounds like something that would happen in my room, because I'm, like, constantly a mess. Like, there could be a body in my room and no one would know. Not that there is. There's not. I didn't kill anyone. I'm making this sound worse. Anyway. Leave the apartment, move into the kitchen. And go with the kitchen. Still don't like that noise. It sounds like he's eating ice. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like ice. I'm gonna leave the apartment. Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. She looked at Kyle expectantly. Consume a Gabby. Greet and start conversation. We're done. Alright, so I did get anything different there. I wanna investigate the Harry route. So we're gonna scavenge for resources. Kyle began to comb through the damp piles of filth and mold on his floor in search of helpful items. After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing years ago while at Kyle's house. Kyle was glad to see him again, but unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business. Deal with Harry. Kyle hoisted Harry onto his shoulder and took him outside. Kyle began dragging Harry's body down the street, drawing many, many stairs. Kyle knew exactly where he needed to take Harry's corpse. On a lovely play date, just the two of them. Kyle and Harry started at the arcade. Kyle used Harry's arm to operate the joystick and push the buttons. This is like Weekend at Bernie's. After 5 or 6 different games, the two friends had enough tickets for a single candy bar. They took their prize to the local park for eating. My wall just got disturbingly creaky all of a sudden. Is that hail? Is it sleet? Oh, it's sleet. That's why it started to make, like, a weird, like, creaking noise. But it's not creaking, it's sleet. It's the sleet hitting the window. Freezing rain. Anyway, that was poor timing. I was very creeped out for a moment there. They took their prize to the local park for eating. Kyle tried to feed some of the chocolate bar to Harry, but Harry seemed to not have an appetite. After eating, Kyle noticed a nearby playground. Oh no, he dragged Harry over. Kyle tried to figure out a way to swing Harry on the swing set, but lacking the ability to grip, Harry kept falling out. Me. Instead, Kyle started to lug Harry to the top of the slide and shove him down time and time again. His arms must be getting tired. Like, he's carrying around a whole-ass human being. Finally, Kyle took Harry to the movies to see as many popular films as their pocket change allowed. Kyle quickly found that he had no pocket change, so he searched through Harry's corpse until he found his wallet. Kyle bought 2 tickets to A Love Romance. After getting inside, Kyle left Harry to go find a restroom. By the time Kyle had finished using the restroom, he had forgotten that he had brought Harry along. Kyle watched A Love Romance by himself. Harry's corpse sat on a bench in the atrium. While Kyle was at the movie, a beautiful thing happened. Harry's corpse, imbued with the power of love and friendship, was reanimated. Harry's old, rotten flesh gained color and life. His fingernails regrew. His missing eye came. Where did his eye go? Where did his eye go? By the time the movie was over, Harry was able to get up and greet Kyle with a large, friendly hug as his old self. Kyle was confused, but delighted that his long-lost friend had met him on his way out of the theater. The two made plans to get drinks together and parted ways for the day. Kyle returned home, forgetting about the interview with Rachel. Kyle helped a friend. Did he really, though? Did he help a friend if he was the reason why the friend needed help in the first place? So I think that's gonna do it for tonight. That was sufficiently weird. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'm gonna go sleep now because I've had enough.